In the outskirts of Kharkiv, Ukraine, a lone stalk of wheat stands, a fragile sign of life, rooted in soil that now feels more like mourning. This is eastern Ukraine, near Donetsk. A tractor that once tilled the soil now sits silent, forgotten, caught in the shadow of war. The wheels no longer turn. Here in Donetsk, Ukraine, the farmland no longer echoes with life. Once fertile and golden, this land near Mykolaiv, southern Ukraine, now lies scorched and silent. In Zaporizhia, Ukraine, the grain silos are no longer full. Only the scent of smoke and regret lingers now. Along the edge of state-owned farms in Kharkiv, a fence divides the fruitful past from an uncertain future. In central Ukraine, near Poltava, the fields have burned. Tomorrow's bread turned to ash in today's fire. In Chernihiv, northern Ukraine, seeds were sown, but never sprouted. The land has gone silent. The smoke rising from the fields of Zaporizhia isn't just smoke. It's the end of a cycle, from seed to bread, now broken. In Nikopol, southern Ukraine, a rusted cart remains a relic from when farming still thrived. Today, only memories move through the dirt. In the port of Odessa, Ukraine, ships that once carried grain to the world now sit idle. No voyages, no exports, just stillness. This is Odessa's loading yard, where grain no longer finds a way out. The world is hungry, but the gates remain closed. From above, Odessa is vast, yet motionless. Grain that could have saved lives is now locked in steel containers. Once working round the clock, the cranes of Odessa now stand still. Exports have halted, and the world waits. This worn-out sign loading zone is now just a memory of busier times. This was once where food set sail for the world. In the morning fog of Odessa, even hope seems faded. A port that once fed the world now sinks into silence. Cairo, Egypt. Here, people face rising prices every day and shrinking dinner tables. In Cairo, people aren't just shopping. They're calculating, will this buy bread or just potatoes? The child stares at the fruit knot with choice, but with longing. Hunger is seen in eyes long before it's felt in the stomach. In southern Cairo, a worried family stares at prices. For them, inflation isn't just a number, it's a daily fear. In Cairo, prices are no longer just numbers. Each price tag is a verdict: buy or walk away. Bread was always the simplest food. But in Cairo, even the basics have become a luxury. In the alleys of Cairo, there's movement, but not much buying. People look, calculate, and often walk away empty-handed. A mother in Cairo looks into her daughter's eyes, wishing she could stretch one more meal out of rising prices. Cairo is still alive, but it's breathing shallow. When food inflation rises, cities hold their breath. And here in the heart of New York, where the price of food is just another chart on a screen, analysts in New York aren't watching dinner tables. They're watching red and green lines on their screens. In Wall Street, food is neither a concern nor a crisis. Here, it's just an acetone that can gain or lose. When bread gets expensive in Cairo, the smiles grow wider in New York. The bitter contradiction of a global economy. New York, the city that never sleeps. Yet sometimes, it closes its eyes to the pain of those who lie awake. Here, the crowd is made of capital. On Wall Street, a food crisis is just a headline, not a warning. While the world worries about its next meal, smiles here bloom from rising fertilizer stocks. They call it investment, but it leaves a bitter taste. In New York, bread is still here golden, flawless, expensive. Here, no one waits in line. The graphs go up. For every % food inflation rises, profits rise too. But not all in New York are smiling. A child in the outskirts stares into a bakery window, and you realize hunger hides even in the heart of wealth. For some, food is just another order at a restaurant. For others, it's a wish that may remain ungranted tomorrow. The floor is bustling as always, but can hunger be heard amid this noise? When wealth gathers in one generation's hands, the question is, will the next have a share of the meal? A quiet dawn over an unknown road. The world stands at a point where it must choose a new direction. The path ahead is unclear, but there is light if the right turn is taken. Maybe the answer lies not in markets, but in the soil, in returning to root-sustainable farming for a stable future. Every crisis hides a chance. The road grows brighter if we choose to see it. And this sunrise is not just another day. It might be the start of a new understanding of economic justice. And now, humanity stands at a crossroads. More profit or bread for all. In 2022, the world learned that wheat isn't just a crop. It's a weapon of power. When war broke out in Ukraine, the ships stopped. The fields burned. And bread suddenly became a strategic asset. Food vanished from tables in Cairo, while agricultural stock soared in New York. They called it a crisis. But for some it was a golden opportunity. Now, here's the question. Should investors profit from war? Well, the answer isn't that simple. It's not about cheering for disaster. It's about recognizing when the world is shifting and reacting before everyone else does. That's where this tragic story becomes a market signal. 3 key signals to be exact. Signal 1. When global supply chains shake, look for companies that produce locally, especially in agri-tech and food security. Signal 2. If food inflation starts outpacing general inflation, the pressure on consumers is real. Strong brands with loyal customers? They survive. They win. And Signal 3. Markets move faster than policymakers. If people in Cairo are queuing for bread, traders in New York are already adjusting their positions. Yeah, bread got expensive. But instead of just worrying, some people bought fertilizer stocks. Because, for a smart investor, a crisis isn't just an ending. It's the start of a new strategy. A strategy that sees opportunity in places others overlook. Smart farming, regional production, food independence. You see, the next time you hear, flour prices doubled, don't just sigh. Ask yourself who's going to solve this. And how can I be early to that solution? If you enjoyed this perspective, if you believe the market isn't just charts and numbers, but stories and signals, then drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss an insight. I'm here to help turn every global shakeup into your next step up.